All right, SyrupDishes coming back at you. Just picked up the Ruger LCP one. It's a 380 automatic. It's a wonderful pocket pistol, small, compact, comes with its own pocket holster. Can fit it in the purse or back pocket or side pocket, any of those number of things. And I'm going to show you today 3 upgrades to it for under 45 bucks total. Things to make it look more sleek and increase its functionability. So first up, we're going to add a finger magazine extension. Now, it won't increase the capacity. It'll just increase your ability to grip the firearm. Next, we're going to give it a little pop, a little sparkle. We're going to wrap it for the wife in a vinyl wrap. And then we're going to add some color to the sights. And if you've never seen the Ruger LCP one, the sights on it are solid black. They're integral, so they're built into the slide. You can't adjust them and change them. The idea there is it's a carry firearm. It's a pocket carry, so you're within 6 feet when you actually have to use it, and the sights may not be as important. But we're gonna add a little pop, a little color to those. So stay tuned, check this out. Under $45, 3 upgrades. Here you go. All right, so here we've laid out all of our materials. So first up, here are the grip extensions, and these are going to go on to your magazine right here. Give you that extra little grip. We'll show you that first. Next up, we are going to clean the Ruger. You got to get all the oil off. So we've got some alcohol, some Q-tips. We're going to get this good and clean. From there, and I've got gloves to keep my fingers from getting it oily. We purchased the Mighty Skins pistol skin. Got this on Amazon. Now, if you've never done this before, they have some how-to videos. I saw some people say it doesn't come with instructions. They want you to scan this QR code so that you know how to do it. But you can watch my video. It's going to show you how. You're going to need an X-Acto knife. You're going to need a torch of some sort, heat gun, hair dryer. Be careful you don't overheat it. You've got a sponge and some tools to get into some of the creases. And then finally, we've got these Bright Sights Professional Gun Sight Kit. Now, I have these in stock. You can use fingernail polish. You can use almost anything. The glow ones on these don't show up too well in the daylight. I like these brighter colors, but they don't glow. So we're going to get started. The sights are going to be last. The wrap is second to last. Cleaning it is second. And the magazine extensions are next. So let's get this cleared away. Let's get started. Okay, so first up, firearm safety slides open. Nothing in there, no magazine. We're going to set that aside. We're not going to use it. I want to share with you this tool that comes in the box. Now, if you don't have this tool, you can use a toothpick, you can use a pen, you can use an old screwdriver. But basically, we are going to attach these extensions onto the bottom of the magazines. So if we first test out the magazine in here, you can see that the pinky right here is not going to make it on there, and there's not much to grip on that. Okay, the next thing we're going to check here is just any wiggle. And you can see factory magazine here does have some wiggle. And that's so that when we put the new one on, we can have a comparison. Okay, next we're going to check the wiggle out on the magazine itself. And there is a tiny, tiny little bit. So on each of these, and if you can't see it, we'll try, but there's a little button right in here. And we're going to use this tool, and we're just going to push that little button in. And we're going to keep our thumb over the base of this magazine and slide it off sideways. And you keep your thumb over that so your spring for your rounds doesn't come shooting through. Now you're going to take your new magazine extender, and you're just going to slide it on and use your thumb to make sure the button gets pushed underneath, and click, snaps right on. Okay, now take a look at this. A little bit more wiggle on this one, and that's because the hole in the bottom of these is larger than the hole here. Okay, let's go ahead and check it in the firearm. All right, so we put it in there, and about the same amount of wiggle room, but it gets added with the play in that. Let's check the fit here, and you can see now my pinky has room on this firearm. Gives me that extra little speed, so I think it feels pretty good. Looks a little bit longer. We'll add a little bit of difference in that pocket carry. Let's get this up. Alright, so now that we've got those magazine extensions on there, the next piece that we need to be doing here is cleaning all the oil off so that we can get our vinyl wrap on this. If you don't get the oil off the surface, it's not going to stick. It might stick temporarily, but not long term. There's a couple ways to do this. We can field strip this firearm. So this one, we would pull this pin, take the slide and barrel off. And you can get it super clean, or you can leave it on. I'm going to opt to leave it on today. So I'm actually going to release my slide here just for ease of cleaning and make sure that everything's okay. Now I've checked to make sure there's no ammunition, there's no magazine in it, and I'm going to use rubbing alcohol. This is a brand new firearm, so it's all factory oil. I've not added any other oils to it, and really, basically, you want to use something non-acetone so you don't damage the firearm. I do have rags nearby that I can wipe this down with as well. But I'm going to use Q-tips, and I'm going to clean in each of the crevices. Now, one of the benefits of non-acetone rubbing alcohol is that it's going to air dry really, really well. One of the disadvantages is it's not really just a degreaser. And so you think about gun degreasers, and if you read those close, a lot of those are saying, hey, we've got a micro layer of protection that goes with it. Well, what that micro layer means is it's adding a little bit of gun oil to it as well. And we want to make sure we get that all off nice and clean so that that vinyl will stick. Now you can go buy gun cleaners that don't, some oil strippers that don't. You can spend a little bit of money on that, and that's fine. Just choose something that's safe for your firearm and is effective as well. So here we are. We've got our Mighty Skins wrap. You can watch the video or just watch mine, but if you don't know how to install, it gives you a little QR video there that you can see. So these two bigger pieces here are going to be for the handle. Obviously, you can get a much larger gun than this Ruger LCP. I'm going to put those aside, and we're going to start with the slide. And I'm just going to kind of show you for demonstration here. We're going to put these aside for now, do those later. You can see this is a very tiny, small firearm. We don't need as much of this. And the first thing that I want to do is I want to just trim some off because I'm going to save it for my handles down there, just to make sure I have it. I just don't need that much. It's plain and simple. I don't need quite as much of a sticker. So I'm going to just monitor in here what that might look like. Make a small incision here. Try not to cut through my paper and my gun kit. So, made a small incision. I'm going to save that, set that aside for those. And now I've got my vinyl for my slide. Okay, so this part, I'm actually going to leave it on. I'm not going to take my slide off. But it's pretty simple and straightforward that you're going to basically center it here, such as this. You're going to use heat and press it on and wrap it around, and then you'll cut out any of the grooves that you don't need. Now there's quite a bit of this vinyl decal that I'm not going to need, and that's okay. I'm going to keep this kind of under it just so I don't pick up any extra dust. I'm going to lay this down for a second. I forgot how much the gloves stick more than your fingers, just so you're aware. And I'm just going to pick a side to just start with here. And this is nice and clean. I'm going to actually pick this side because it's got the slide release and the pin to remove the slide, and you're going to line it up nice and smooth with the bottom of your slide centered on there. And that's pretty perfect. And see how this is kind of covering that sticky part so it doesn't pick up any extra dirt, any extra dust. And even if it did, that'd be okay with me, because realistically, I've got a ton of extra with the size of this firearm as it is. Okay, and so now you want to work it into the grooves, and heat will help that. You can use a sponge, you can use, this is a pot cleaner is all it is, just to kind of work it in there and slide it in there. Any grooves that you have, you want to do that with. Okay, let's smooth it out on there. I'm going to pop this with a little bit of heat, light heat. You don't want to add a whole bunch. Okay, pop it with a little bit of heat. Heats up, you start to see it suck down in there. Come in and fill in your grooves. Make sure they're sticking in there nice. Best job, but everything seems to be working okay. We're able to move that in and out and move the parts just fine. Seems to fit the hand real well in there, and magazine release is just fine. So now we're going to take a look at the sights, and the sights on these are integral, and so we have purchased these Bright Sights Professional Gun Sight Kit, and I'm going to go orange on the front and green on the back. I'm not going to do glow in the dark, but I think these will stand out quite a bit. So there's not much paint in them, and you gotta seal them up tight so the air doesn't, rough around and mess up on it. And basically you're gonna use a toothpick, and on that toothpick you're just gonna put a dollop, dab, whatever you want to call it, and just kind of let it dry on there and do multiple coats. And so you won't get to see the whole entire process today because I need to let it dry a little bit. So I've stirred this one up, and I'm going to try to put a dab right on the tip of this, something like that. Now you can use fingernail polish if you like. I am going to just use a toothpick and just put it right on it. And I'm looking down just to see, what that looks like. Perfect. That is excellent. So I'm going to go ahead and leave my orange toothpick in there. I'll try and just flatten this paint job down with a clean one. And it'll dry on there just fine. Now I'm going to use my green one. Now this does have glow-in-the-dark paint. Again, guys, I've used the glow-in-the-dark paint. It takes UV activation. So if you're holding it in a case or in a purse or under a pocket or anything like that, it's not going to activate it. And so if you pull it out anyway, it's not really going to be working too well. So I'm not using the glow-in-the-dark. They also look more white when you're looking down the gun than they do green or orange, and they glow just the same color. They don't really glow separate. So I'm going to go ahead and just use some bright colors here, some neon colors. Again, I'm doing green at the back and orange at the front. And this one I'm going to do 2 because I have the rear sight always has the 2 on there. So got a little bit of extra here, and it's really just a dollop, a dab, whatever you want to call it, a dip, dive, dodge, duck, whatever you want to do. So we're going to smooth that out, and then once this dries, I can go ahead and show you, exactly what it'll look like. All right, so there you have it. Quick $45 3-phase upgrade for the Ruger LCP 380 Auto. It was just around a 2-hour project to do all 3 of those, minus the dry time. I got to let that paint dry for about 24 hours and then maybe add another coat. I'm not the world's best at doing the vinyl wrap, but I have learned that if you get the right amount of heat, that stretches and takes the wrinkles out. These look a lot better from a distance than they do up close. But once you use them and handle them, that vinyl and those creases kind of wear down and smooth out, and it starts to look a lot better. So overall, I'm real pleased with this, real pleased with how it looks. I hope that my wife enjoys it as well. You can see the green there, the orange there, and the perfect color change in this and how it looks. That just looks really nice. Let's get the magazine in there for you to be able to see that. And there you have it. It is the Ruger LCP. This is the one, 380 Auto, $45 upgrade. Enjoy. Thanks for hanging in there. Stay tuned for more from SyrupDishes.